I'm going to go ahead and record, let y'all know I'm recording. Do you have any questions on this last little part we did? Is everybody good? All right. So this one says putting it all together. This is what you're going to be doing. You'll see that this problem is going to be a little bit longer than problems that you've had lately, but most of it is because it's writing. It's not necessarily the hard math work. So it says for their final project, a group of AP students wanted to compare the texting habits of males and females. They asked a random sample of students from their school to record the number of text messages sent and received over a 2-day period. So here's their data. What conclusion should the students draw? Give appropriate evidence to support your answer. So we're going to state, what did they ask us to do? I need you to answer. Yeah, say it again. What?
Give a conclusion.
Yeah, but of what? What are we trying to draw a conclusion of?
The number of messages sent and received over a 2-day period from the students.
Is that what we're trying to do? What were the students trying to do?
Oh, compare texting habits.
Yeah, so do males and females texting habits differ. Any way that you can state that is fine. It doesn't have to be specific like that. I mean, it's, you know, is there a difference between male and female texting? That would work just fine. So don't feel like you have to stick with the way that I wrote it. So what is the first thing in your plan? What did they tell you the first thing you need to do is? We just wrote it on that last paper. What did they tell you to do? What did they say in that last paragraph?
Construct a graph.
Construct a graph. What I tell you the best graph to do was? What's the easiest one to do?
A box plot.
Yeah, let's do it. How many are we going to do?
2.
Okay. So we're going to do males and females. Let me show you how to do 2 at one time, okay? So I said you're going to have your calculator. We're going to go into stat and we're going to edit. And I'm going to put the males in L1. So this one's going in L1. I'm going to put females in L2. So I'm going to pull my calculator for a minute so I can type. And then my female will go in L2. So there should be 16 females and 15 males. I'm just clearing out my Y equals, sorry, just to make sure. All right, so how do we make a box plot? How do we make a box plot? How did I make them the other day? What did I do?
Go into Y equals and then into 1.
So on plot 1, I want to make a box plot and I like the modified and this one is good to go. But I have 2 sets of data, so what do you think I need to do? Because I want to see them at the same time. I don't want to look at it, like I don't want to look at one, erase it, and then look at the other one.
Turn on plot 2 and 1.
So go back into second Y equals. Turn your plot 2 on and make sure that it's a box plot. However, look at this. Where did my list come from?
L1.
Which one was L1?
L1 was males.
I already did that one. So what do I need to do?
Change it.
Change it to L2. So if you look, second 2 will give you L2. So second 2, and that'll change it to L2. How do I get it on my actual graph?
Zoom none.
Good. Oh, I don't think I have my, sorry, that one's turned off for some reason. There we go. Now they're on. Check them out. Just talking. What do you see?
Females have a bigger area between like Q1 and minimum.
Okay. What else y'all see? This is legit just talking. Just talk.
The males have an outlier.
Yeah. Can we tell where that outlier is?
Yeah, if you do
How do we do it?
trace.
Yeah, hit trace. And where's our outlier at?
213.
Yeah, so this male, did I screw that up? Male should have a 214 on there as well. Look at that. You can't see it. Yeah, if you go over one more, it actually has 2 outliers. You guys see that? Everybody good? So 213 and 214. All right, so now what? Tell me what else you see.
The female is just bigger in general.
So it has a wider range. Okay. Use those stats words we've learned. No offense, you did great. Tell me more.
Females don't have outliers.
Females do not have outliers. How do we describe graphs? What are the 4 things that we do to describe graphs?
Shape, center, spread, outliers.
Okay, so you've told me 2 of those.
Oh,
They're both kind of right skewed
Yeah, why are they right skewed?
because the male has an outlier to the right and female's just really long to the right.
Right, the tails are on the right. So these data, and you can tell on box plots because they're pushed to the opposite side. Remember, I told you that's a good way to tell. That's why I like to use them, because you can see that that box is moved over. So that was shape. What else?
The center for the females is 107. And
Why
for the
did-
males it's 28.
What numbers are those? What are those called?
The median,
And why are we using the medians?
because it's skewed.
Is everybody good with that? All right, so don't forget that you also could use IQR. So 50% of the data falls within 6 and 83 on the males, and between 34 and 191 on the females. So let's look at our do part. Sorry, let me write your steps down that we did. 2, we did 1 var stats. We didn't do that yet, but we will. And then we're going to compare. We compared from the graph. We're going to compare from 1 var stats. So stat, calc, 1 var stats. We're just going to look at L1 right now. So this is male data. This is male data compared to female data. You said the median was 28. We did the IQR. Remember, to find the IQR, we said 83 minus 6, which is 77. We talked about outliers at 213 and 214. And you said it was skewed right. The female median was 107. The IQR was 191 minus 34, which is 157. You had no outliers. And it was also skewed right. I'm not going to make you, but you always need to sketch your graph every single time, put your graph on there. And remember, you don't have to make it on that number line. You can sketch, literally sketch, but put all the numbers on there. So the minimum, the maximum, the Q1, the Q3, and the median, put all those numbers on there.
If you calculate a minimum and it's less than like the lowest number, do you put the left whisker on the lowest number or all the way to the minimum? To the lowest number, right?
Are you talking about if you have an outlier on the low end?
Yeah.
Yes, you would do it just like that high end outlier that we just saw.
Okay.
And it'll show one like, I mean, let's see. I'm gonna try to add one to one of them and let's see what happens. I didn't get it far enough. It's a good question. I'm just trying to get one big enough. I cannot get one big enough. I'm like to negative 100. Hold on. There we go. So it'll put it down on the, I just did like negative 1,000, but it'll give that low end just like it gives the two high ends. Is everybody good? So just to see that. All right. So we have to talk about this. This is not enough. You need to talk about it. So what did you see? You have to compare them together. So these are separately, but now I need to compare them to each other. So you just literally write sentences about this. Again, it's long work, not hard work. So we would say that both are skewed right. The female median is higher than the males. So literally that's how you compare them together. Both are skewed right. Female median is higher than the males. What else can you tell me?
The females didn't have any outliers, whereas the males had two.
Females do not have outliers. While males have two, and those are at 213 and 214. One more thing. What else can we compare? What's the one thing we haven't compared yet?
The IQR,
And what can you tell me about it?
the female's IQR is higher than the male's.
Yep. And the very last thing that we're going to talk about today is we have to conclude this. So knowing all of that, and I know it's a lot, and I know it seems redundant, but that is this course. That's what I was telling you. It is writing intensive. It's not like Miss Wood's class writing intensive. It is like you just have to write everything out. Okay, so I don't mean that in a bad way. Like hers is more like intellectual writing, grammar, blah, blah, blah. Mine is just telling it over and over again. Okay, but it's like using ink. It's a lot of ink. Okay, so conclude this. What can you tell me? What conclusion can you draw? Do males and females differ? Texting habits differ?
Yes.
Females
Yes.
text more than males.
Say it again.
From the data, we can conclude that females text more than males.
But we're not finished with this because you need to make sure you make it specific and in context of the problem. What did they take their data from? I don't think it showed you. I don't think it showed you. Okay. Yeah, it did. Right before it says here are their data. When did they do it?
A 2-day period.
Over a 2-day period. Why is that important to put?
Because the trend could be different for like a week-long period.
Absolutely. So you want to be as specific as you can, because if we went for a week, you know, that might not include the weekend. Girls might text on the weekdays more than boys, but then on the weekend, the boys might pick up their texting a little bit. I don't know. I'm just saying that's why you have to be specific. Okay. Do y'all have any questions about this? All right. So stop share.